focus on what's important. If you're going to be with your family, put your phone down. If you're going to network and do prospecting, whatever it is, be very intentional about the outcome that you're hoping to achieve. Try to make those goals tangible and achievable.
Welcome to the Marketing Boost Solutions Podcast. Join host Marco Torres, co-founder of MarketingBoost.com, along with expert guests as they deliver incredible, proven solutions to your marketing challenges in each power-packed episode. Captain Marco has guided thousands of entrepreneurs, growing their sales and marketing through the use of value-add incentives. His Facebook groups are home to more than 84,000 entrepreneurs who are raking in sales with his advice. Get ready to be blown away with game-changing lessons for your business.
Welcome to another episode of the Marketing Boost Solutions Podcast. My next guest is a real estate expert with a multi-million-dollar a year. She's a multi-million-dollar a year producer. I think it was $30 million last year or close to that. She is, mind you, that's in a very competitive Boston area market. She has been a fundraiser for Harvard University and Beth Israel Deaconess, I always say that wrong, Medical Center, as well as several other Boston area medical facilities. Her work with her high net worth individuals and the importance of establishing professional relationships based on trust and integrity has carried over to her work in the real estate realm. Introducing Steph Crawford with StephCrawfordRealty.com. Steph, say hello.
Thank you for having me, Marco. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, my pleasure. And, your background, you've got a, MBA and you've done all kinds of things. You went into the fundraising industry, which I know nothing about. I imagine it's quite difficult to do to build onto that philanthropy. And then you got into real estate, which is something I haven't found, most people don't go from the MBA, and that type of titles to go and selling real estate typically. So how did that happen, Steph? How did your direction go from being in the philanthropy world to selling real estate?
That's a great question. So I got into real estate. I've only been in real estate several years here. This is my 4th year, so I'm quite young as far as years of experience. As I was in the world of philanthropy from graduating college all until my mid-30s, I tried actually to sell my own property in the South End and hired a realtor. And for whatever reason, not every match with the realtor is going to be the most successful one. It ended up not being the most successful one. So we found another realtor. And that one also wasn't great. And at the time when I was working in philanthropy, I had a bit of a medical situation. We had a miscarriage. I had been married to my husband for just a year or so. And that moment when we had that miscarriage made me really step back and reevaluate what was, creating fulfillment in my life. And with the sale of our house and starting something new, my husband said to me, why don't you try something totally new? And why don't you try to sell this house? And, if all these people can do it, I bet you can do it better. And I said, well, let's see. And I took some time. I ended up reaching out to a bunch of people in my sphere, asking them for some informational interviews, looked at pharmaceutical sales, real estate professional, all kinds of things, and ended up deciding after a really good conversation with someone in that sphere to go for it. And so I got my license, sold my first house. That first year I did 20 million with this team. I sold my house. I sold my sister's house, helped her find a house. And all of a sudden I started building this amazing network, and I really haven't looked back. And this year I started my own team. I have 3 people on it, a videographer, and then another junior agent. She's fantastic. And last year we did that 30 million, as you mentioned. And this year our goal is 40 million. So I'm really excited.
Wow. That's amazing. And you do that. Are you actually a broker now as well, or
I'm under Real Brokerage is the name of the brokerage. And then I just have my own team, Steph Crawford Realty.
Got it. Cool. Well, congratulations on a $30 million year. I mean, that's something most realtors aspire to, hit their first 5 million.
Sure, sure. And this
Yeah.
year to date, we were at 7 million for the year of sold and under contract, and we're only here on our second month.
So,
So
yeah.
we're off to a great start. And I think a lot of it is a testament to marketing efforts, to be honest. And so, this kind of partnership and chatting with you is so important for small business owners, medium-sized business owners, and how they can leverage various aspects of their CRMs, their client relationship manager, and then different other channels that they're getting relationships through.
Cool. Well, let's talk about that. Tell us about, we do have a lot of realtors within the listeners to the Marketing Boost Solutions podcast and users of the Marketing Boost incentives. Tell us about, what are some of your marketing techniques to reach those goals?
I would say I just actually this year I hired a coach through Tom Ferry, and I don't know if any of your listeners are familiar with him. He's one of the number one coaches, I would say, probably the number one coach in North America. And my coach within his program, his name is Sharif Nathu, and he's actually in Canada. We talk a lot about this and how, especially for me this year, in order to hit this very lofty goal for me, marketing and planning out my marketing calendar year is so, so important. So things that I'm doing are, doing email drip campaigns, reaching out to my whole sphere at least once a month, whether it's my newsletter. And then on top of that, also coupling that with, weekly, bi-weekly efforts, whether it's a phone call, a text message, an email campaign, and then leveraging all of your social media things. My goal after going to this big conference that I was at earlier this week with my coach is to do some new things, including a deal of the week, feature that on Instagram, and just honestly focusing more on getting, in real estate especially, people just want to know you and see your face and feel like they're connected with you. So more for me is going to be spent on video and reconnecting with my sphere and sort of leveraging their areas of expertise and see if there's a way that we can partner together.
Now, that's a great segue to hear from our first sponsor, automationbooster.com. And we'll be right back. Don't go away. We're going to come back and talk to Steph with more ideas for real estate marketing that overlap into all kinds of ideas as well. We'll be right back.
Is your business on autopilot yet? Do you have automation in place to capture, nurture, and convert prospects into clients via email, SMS, ringless voicemails, appointment setting? Get all the inbound and outbound marketing tools in one place. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com for more on automating your business so you can make money while you sleep.
You just heard from automationbooster.com, and Steph and I were talking about a CRM, and if you don't have one, that's what you got to go look at with automationbooster.com. I mean, I've been an internet marketer since 1996, before Facebook, before Google, and in all those years, I've never seen a platform under one umbrella with one simple system for email marketing, for text messaging, ringless voicemail broadcasting. Systems that will automate everything you need to be doing so you can stay in communication and create those drip campaigns Steph was talking about. So if you don't already have that, go check out automationbooster.com because it'll solve that solution. It'll create that solution for you. Steph, back to you. One of the things in the real estate world right now that is probably upsetting the cart quite a bit, maybe not in the realm of your level of clients, but tell me about the spring market coming up, interest rates, and how they're affecting the real estate market conditions these days.
For sure. That's a really good question, especially in the Boston market. I would say our price points are higher than probably some other parts of the country. What I'm finding is a lot of my buyers right now, we have across the country, a huge inventory problem. People that secured rates that are in the twos aren't selling. So all of a sudden they're thinking, well, maybe I keep my property and rent it out. And if they can do that, that is a good option, but it really is constricting the number of homes that are on the market, which is the problem. So then when places do become available, they fly off because people are desperate to buy any house, whether they're renting or looking for a bigger, property, what have you. A lot of my buyers that I'm seeing personally in Boston, under about a $1.5 million threshold, I'm getting a lot of people that are looking for financing. So as far as interest rates, we're looking at things right now in the sixes. There is to be expected as the year progresses, several reductions in interest rates, hopefully. For my buyers that are getting financing, I'm strongly advising them to look aggressively right now, because as those rates start to come down, as the spring market really starts to take off, they're going to be faced with a lot of competition. And what goes with hand in hand with competition is that people are going to be, not having any contingencies, no inspection, no mortgage contingencies, which really leaves you very exposed. And those are sort of the terms that you need to ensure that you do have a good realtor to help advise you on that, to protect you. As far as my buyers that are above that threshold, usually they're cash buyers. So it's leveraging any terms that might, be most advantageous to the seller. So sort of working with them to make sure our terms are really, really good. And essentially, I think as a realtor, my main job not only is to protect my buyers, but also really be transparent with the other agent and build that rapport so that there's trust and a mutual respect, so that we both are feeling that our clients are getting the best of, this transaction. For sellers right now, I have several people that I sold a property last week for a full list price of $295. And several other agents had previously told the seller that he probably wouldn't get that price. So I think marketing approaches are very important. And that's a testament to that. We were able to get a full list price. I have two other properties. One's an off-market property, and I've been doing some good marketing tips through my coach of targeting my CRM and doing sort of a call to action of, hey, I have this special unique property in this neighborhood. If you'd like to learn more, respond, more info. And I got 30 responses back. I think oftentimes we're moving so fast. It's good to pause and think, how do you want people to engage with you? And for that example, it's not even about that particular house. It's more engagement with the people that are in your sphere. Leave a little up to them to get back to you so that you do have that conversation back and forth, because that's a great touch point for people. So I'm hopeful for the spring market. Hopefully more inventory comes on. I'm trying to do my part and get people to, list their houses, hopefully, and I'm working with a ton of buyers. So I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a great year.
Now, I'm down here in Florida, and real estate market's probably quite different than Boston. Are you familiar at all with the flow of people into Florida over the last couple of years?
Yes.
And
Yep.
I mean, for some time, it was a boom, right? It's been a boom market
Absolutely.
in Florida, and then real estate prices were going through the roof because everybody from a lot of different around the country after COVID were racing to get to Florida.
Yeah.
And so it was booming new construction, and now it just seems like from different markets I'm looking at all over the place, they're stagnant and dropping in prices by 15, 20, 25%. So it obviously varies nationwide. Is that happening in Boston as well, as far as prices kind of stagnating a bit, or are they still on the move up?
I would say they're probably staying pretty consistent. I think as part of an agent representing sellers, it's really important not to overprice your home. People always think their home is worth more than it is, and sometimes it is. But to taper their expectations, we have a listing right now, and the seller wanted to price it really high, given the fact that there's no inventory. But to be a strategist in this market, I think is very important. So making sure that things are priced appropriately based on the comps out there, to not lose some of that momentum and get as many people in the door as possible to push up the price for your property. So we are seeing, a steady interest. I think prices are going to remain consistent in Boston and likely go up.
Now, how have you gone about getting to know your market and its trends over the years? And, how would you recommend other realtors do the same for their
Yeah.
area?
I would say network. I think I didn't realize this until a few years into this business, but really leveraging other people's experience. We're all here to help each other grow and be the most successful business owners that we can. Sometimes I think that people feel really competitive with each other. I'm competitive with myself personally, but not with other people. If I can share something that's worked well with my CRM or my geo farming efforts, I'm happy to share that with anyone. So I think as a realtor, getting really familiarized with other agents that are in your area, network with them, have coffee with them, join a coaching group, join a BNI group. I'm part of a BNI group. It's a great way just to meet new people and get the word out that you're doing real estate. I also teach yoga in Boston. So I talk about real estate all the time to my yoga community. There's a ton of realtors that come to my yoga classes and I network with them, share best practices, what's working well with this sale. Everyone is learning something new every day. So it would be a real shame not to capitalize on other people's experience to not only grow, but learn something new and help each other in the long run.
When something goes wrong, and I would imagine there are times you've had some experiences where things go wrong in a transaction or in a relationship. How do you deal, or how would you coach others to deal with that situation?
Things go wrong all the time. And I think whether it's family, business, it's all the same. I think that, thinking personally, when we had our first of several miscarriages, it's easy to get sucked into a situation that has you focus on the problem and you kind of perseverate on this problem and all the bad things and I don't know what I'm going to do, and you kind of sink lower and lower and lower. I think I'd urge anyone going through that, whether a realtor, someone that's facing those challenges, to reach out and start thinking about solutions. What's next? How can we move forward? Because it's not really helpful to sort of sink yourself into this problem. Instead, say, okay, what can I learn from this? How can I move forward and find a solution that works for everybody? I've had countless problems in transactions, and as long as everyone is transparent and honest with each other about any hiccups that are happening, I think that's all you can really do, is be true to yourself and be honest with everybody, all the stakeholders. Because that keeps your reputation, and that's what business is about, is making sure that you have, a positive reputation, and the people that you're recommending are also your adversaries. They're there to be an extension of you. So ensuring that they reflect your values in your business is really important, and something I've learned over the years, especially.
So can you give what, like, challenging client objections when something goes wrong like that, or others? How can you give some examples of how you've overcome an objection especially in a challenging situation?
Let's see. Oh boy. Well, I'm thinking right now, I have two challenging situations. One of them is I have a buyer. We're in the midst of a transaction, and the lender has called me and said, I am worried that we're not going to be able to hit this timeline because for whatever reason, the credit came back. It's not in line with what they originally thought, and that hits the interest rate. So they have to sell a car. So I am sort of in this intermediary place. So I called my client and I said, I heard from the lender, I'm sorry, that this has to happen in order for us to continue forward. And I think just being honest, like I said, making sure that all the information is correct. And so after I had that conversation with my client, I called the seller's agent, excuse me, and said, we might have to push off the timeline. I don't want to do this. However, here's what happened. There was credit card fraud on one of the cards. This hurt the credit. You know, is the seller okay pushing off the close by 2 weeks? I don't want to do this, but I just want to be honest with you. I don't want to play games. And you know what? He was very receptive. He said, wow, that must be terrible. Fortunately, we're in a good position with the seller. That's not a big deal to push it off 2 weeks. We've also had clients right now, challenges associated with animals in the house. So it's sort of navigating that, you know, someone has two huge, what am I trying to say? Like 20 puppies, essentially. 20 puppies in the house. And I don't know if she's a breeder or not, but you know, the puppies got to go for the open house. I'm sorry, but you know, so working through those kind of challenges, you just have to laugh and say, okay, you can't, yeah, I'm sorry, you can't have 20 puppies in the house, but then they did leave 7 kittens. So
Oh my God.
so you just have to laugh and also just not take yourself too seriously. I mean, I'm so lucky to be able to do what I do and work with amazing people and partner with people like you. Most people want to lift each other up. And if things get really serious, you have to laugh and say, we got to move forward and figure out a solution and not take yourself too seriously because life is so short. So put a smile on and find the next solution that's ahead of you and not focus on the problems.
Before we turned on the recording, you were talking a little bit about how you have, you know, sponsor open houses and off some sort of drawing that you do.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about those and the success of that, how you've gone about that.
So this is a new idea. I haven't done too many of these, but this is an idea that I think is fabulous. So for example, we just closed on a property today, actually. So this couple, they're expecting their second child. They have a dog. They moved into a bigger property. They were renting, first-time home buyers. What we are going to do is sponsor their housewarming party up to a certain amount. And we will either give them, you know, compensate them for food and beverages up to that certain amount, or we'll buy it for them. And we go attend the housewarming party for an hour or less. And when we're there, we bring a bowl and we have all the attendees drop their name, number, and email into a bowl. And after an hour and we're about to leave, we say, you know, make a quick announcement. Thank you everyone for coming. It's been so nice meeting everyone. We're going to leave, but as part of us being here, we're going to give out $100 gift card to this local restaurant. You've put your name and number in here. We're going to pull this out. Oh, Marco Torres, great. You got $100 gift card to Toro on the South End. We'll follow up with you and mail that to you, or just give it to him then. And then we'll also follow up with each of you just to, you know, connect on if you're in the market, either now or you're going to be, or you're happy. Either way, we'd love to get to know you and build out more of a relationship with you. If there's events that we have, we'd love to keep you in mind for those. And that's it.
Great idea. I love it. And I've seen many of Marketing Boost members do some similar things. And let me kind of describe that to you. So if you're a realtor here looking for ideas on how to acquire some leads, Steph just gave a great example, but let me put a twist on it. So, but what's different about your idea that I love is it's the housewarming party for the gift versus, for example, open house showing. So we've kind of done, I've seen members in Marketing Boost use what I want to talk about as the open house, but I really like the housewarming party, and they invite their friends and relatives, which means you're pulling in the referrals automatically. And by default, they're endorsing you as the realtor with the party that you're sponsoring and so forth. But one of the ways that you might do it versus just a bowl with everybody throwing their business card in, for example, is to add to that a kind of a countertop signage with a QR code and give everybody who attends with the marketing boost incentives. Obviously, I'm being biased here. You could be saying, hey, we're giving away to somebody who attended this event 3 nights in Las Vegas on us. It don't include airfare, food and beverage, or government taxes and fees. You could have a small disclaimer, but we're giving away 3 night trip to Las Vegas on us. One of the visitors to this party is going to win that. Plus, everybody who enters the QR code, everybody who attends the party is going to get a $100 restaurant savings voucher that you'll be able to use at a bunch of different restaurants. And with our, put in your zip code and you'll get access to coupons and savings at restaurants nearby, et cetera. And as an example, or a hotel savings card because you're using the marketing boost, or actually tie in both using a
Right.
marketing boost incentive like like the 3 nights in Las Vegas plus the $100 at Anthony's or Antonio's restaurant down the road or whatever it might be, something they can see a real big discount on at a nice high-end restaurant, for example. And then you've got everybody's contact information, like you say, and you've captured there with that prize, for example. You don't have to enter all that information in manually yourself. They did it themselves when they hit the QR code with their phone and registered. And now you can start your drip campaign to all of those people, just like you described. Another idea that a lot of realtors have done with Marketing Boost, by the way, is they sponsor and support local nonprofit fundraisers. So any local nonprofit or fundraising event, whether it's a high school football equipment drive or something else, they can come in and say, "Hey, our real estate firm would like to sponsor your fundraiser, and we're going to give you 5 getaways, 3 trips to Cancun, 2 to Las Vegas that you guys can auction tickets to. You can give them away. You can you can, run an auction or sell raffle tickets or what have you. You guys keep all the money. We need to be at the event to tell everybody how the incentives work, to cover the disclaimers that they don't include airfare, food and beverage, or government taxes and fees. And then, of course, we'd like to give everybody our elevator pitch. By the way, we are Steph Crawford Realty. So if you're buying, selling, renting, or rather investing, don't forget to look for the Steph Crawford team and so on. So that's another way you could be, taking the sales hat off, being that philanthropist background that you have, and doing it in a way that doesn't cost you a lot of money. Because with the marketing boost incentives, they don't cost you anything to give away to the community and let others, generate some revenue. You could even get, like, if it's a golf tournament, everybody who attends could get an incentive of one form or another. So I know this has worked for quite a few other insurance agents, realtors around the country. So it might be something, Steph, that you and your team might consider.
I love
But if anybody else is listening, I've just wanted to plug in these ideas that work well for realtors and insurance agents and other direct salespeople.
that. It's a great idea.
So, Steph, back to you. Sorry to plug all that. And while we're at it, let's take a break and hear from our sponsor, Marketing Boost. And we'll be right back to talk to Steph about more marketing ideas in the real estate world. Don't go away.
It's time to wow, surprise, and impress your clients with the most powerful customer draw card available anywhere. The Marketing Boost Solutions Show is brought to you by Marketing Boost, where you can get valuable travel and restaurant incentives to drive your leads from prospects to paying customers. Now you can offer complimentary hotel stays in over 130 destinations worldwide. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com and try it for free right now.
Welcome back. We're here with Steph Crawford talking about real estate in the Boston market and around the country on how you can grow your real estate business. So, Steph, tell us some more. Give us some more ideas on how you do networking and how you've made that a personalized approach and how that's helped grow your business to over $30 million a year.
Networking. So I think you can take it in all different directions. At this conference, I got some other really good ideas, which I think, I'm trying to implement in my team. As Mother's Day comes up and Easter comes up, some of these events you could really leverage. Some of the ones that I'm thinking about, if you have kids, you could do like a taco truck and sponsor time of a taco truck on Tuesday and have it go to an event, and that you leverage that as a realtor or a business owner and say, oh, for the next hour, every hot dog is sponsored by Steph Crawford Realty, and your number's there, and then you're there, networking with people. Another one was a woman I was chatting with, which I thought this was a brilliant idea, is you can egg someone's house. So instead of you having to, let's say you have small children or, that are doing an egg hunt, you as a small business owner say, we will do all the work for you. And you go to your school and hand out flyers, your kid's school, and say, hey, I'm offering this. We will do it for you. We come with a basket. We've already pre-filled all the eggs with, jelly beans or whatever, and we do this for free. I think a big important aspect of marketing to create value for your clients and your network is to continue to deliver the best possible solutions for people without charging them. And by continuing to deliver value, you become undeniable. And that was a big theme at this big conference that I was at, is how do you constantly deliver value when people aren't asking for it? So, and that really resonated with me, of thinking about different ways that you can help people, and you're never asking for anything back. And then they're going to want to give back to you because they see that you're altruistic, because you are, and you're authentic and you're genuine. And so that in itself creates value, and that people will be drawn to you if you do that, right? And so that's something that I'm trying to think creatively about as I approach this year in our marketing efforts. How can we, work with schools? How can we, I used to work at the Greater Boston Food Bank in philanthropy. I was a director over there. Can I offer that as, a charitable volunteering opportunity for all of my clients in my CRM, all my sphere, if they want to do that? The other thing, and this is the last one I'll say, another thing that they were talking about is, let's say there's a traveling show that's coming to Boston. For example, there was Disney on Ice in January, and I didn't think about this, but I should have bought 10 tickets and given them out to clients. So it can't be a game or some show that's going to be a permanent, a permanent show in the area, but something that's traveling, whether it's Cirque du Soleil, some of these other ones. Buy 5 tickets, buy 6 extra tickets, you go with whoever ends up getting these tickets. And it's your way of getting new people in your sphere, get to know you. Maybe you have your kids, maybe you don't. Whatever it is, it just brings people closer to you in a very authentic way.
Wow. Great idea there. And that's part of what you were talking about earlier when you said you plan out your calendar for the next 12 months. Are you describing, so for Mother's Day, we'll find something unique to sponsor the taco truck or what have you? For Easter, the egg hunt idea that you're sponsoring, is that's what I would assume that's what you mean by that. You're planning that out and thinking of these events.
Yeah, and thinking them through for the whole year. And obviously things change as you progress through the year. But what I've done is done a marketing calendar on the main page of like my big things. And then, as things sell, I'll create a postcard, blah, blah, blah. All those kind of already happen. But the big things like the eggs or the traveling shows, input those, create tabs on the bottom of January. What was unique on this January? I did this mailer, and then after that goes out, what kind of success did you get from that effort? And then don't reinvent the wheel next year. Use that and then modify it and tweak it and tweak it and tweak it until it's actually really good. And then be consistent. This year you might try the taco truck and it's not a big hit. Maybe try it in the fall. Maybe the fall is way better because it's a little colder. People are outside. Maybe you offer hot cocoa. I think.
Tell me about the taco truck idea a little bit more. What do you mean by, so you're going to sponsor it at an event where there's going to be a lot of people that are in your target as in like what? Help me
Exactly.
see.
So let's say there's a baseball game and your kid is playing and you go and you say, I'm going to hire an ice cream truck or a taco, whatever it is, and say, I'm going to give out ice cream for the next hour. And everybody that comes through that truck knows that, hey, as part of this, I'm sponsoring a free ice cream for you. Here's your free ice cream. And you, or maybe it's a ticket that you give to people. Do you want a free ice cream? Here, we've brought this here. Here's a ticket. So everyone gets just one ticket. You get a free ice cream at the event. And all of a sudden people remember, oh, aren't you the realtor that sponsored the ice cream truck at the last event? Yeah, that was me. You put a sign, whatever. You can
Yeah.
market it however you want. But I think you
And
just,
if you're lucky, you might try the QR code idea where you're
I love that.
getting people to register to get their free ticket to
Oh,
the
there you
tacos or the ice
go.
cream or what have you. And now you've got their information to follow up.
I
So it's
love
like,
that.
you know,
Even better.
everybody can do it with their phone. So they don't, you know, you're not like trying to make a line while they register on your
That's a
laptop or
much
something.
better idea. You just took mine and you elevated it. This is
Elevated
why
it,
you're in
right?
the world. This is why we're a
Boom.
perfect match.
Yeah, so you elevate, you know, and now here's another idea
Yeah,
I love this idea, Steph. This is great.
yeah.
So, but it sounds like it could be expensive depending upon somebody's budget or a realtor who's getting started or not at the $30 million mark yet, you know.
So you know what? That's a great point. I partner a ton with my lenders, my attorneys, anybody else. Hey, do you want to partner with me on this event? You're going to pay for it. This is what I did for my client appreciation event in the fall. I had an attorney pay for it. It was fabulous. And you know, it's a win-win. They get marketing, I get marketing. I get to bring all my clients, they get to meet all the clients. It's like an
Bam.
easy win.
And if you did the QR code thing, now you can even promise your
And
sponsor,
yeah,
your partner, that they're going to get the leads as well. They're going to get
right.
all the leads that entered for the promo and what have you. And so
Yep.
you're going to share those leads, and then you can create a campaign that's, you know, hey, thank you for participating in our ice cream truck day. This is sponsored by, you know, attorney Mo and whatever, you know, and real
Right.
estate. That's
Yep.
good ideas.
Exactly. And I think those kind of things, everybody's doing social media. And I think you should do social media too. Everyone should. It's not my favorite thing, but I do it. I think these kind of marketing efforts, everything comes down to how do you differentiate yourself? And these kind of things, I think you need to think deeply about how do you want to be known in the community? Is it going to be a philanthropic thing? Are you going to be at the baseball game? So how do you want to set yourself apart? Are you going to be the really involved dad that goes and does the ice cream truck? Are you going to be the really involved mom so finding your niche? You're not going to be able to do everything. And I think that's my problem that I struggle with. I get these good ideas from networking and chatting with other agents, but pick two. Pick two to try out this year. Don't do 20. Pick the ice cream truck. Go to your kids, or even if you don't have kids, who cares? Go to your local neighborhood's baseball game in the middle of the summer and have a lender do that for 2 hours while the whole baseball game is going, and you will walk away with 200 leads. Why not? Try it. And if it doesn't
Right.
work, you didn't pay for it. And it was great publicity for everybody.
And even if you had to pay for it, I mean, you might partner with some of the other realtors in the office, and between
And
3 or 4 realtors, you pay for it, so you didn't pay for it all in your own pocket,
exactly.
and so on. So, or you know, as you say, find the mortgage company to pay for it, or the closing
Journey,
agent, you know,
right.
somebody to help pay for the process. Super.
Exactly. Yep.
Yep. Great ideas here. You know, we're running up on 45 minutes or so with this conversation. Steph, you've been awesome. Let's take a look at your website. I forgot to share that. And let me make sure, how do people get a hold of you? So let me do that real quick. Get your site ready to go.
It's an
And
easy site to remember. It's staffcrawfordrealty.com. And my email is just my name with an extra C, Steph C. Crawford at Gmail. If you have interest in the Boston market, want to network as another agent, Want to talk about coaching, want to talk about yoga, whatever you want, I am here for it. Yep, there I am. You can go to
StephCrawfordRealty.com. And then here you've got, all of your listings and everything. If you're going to the Boston market, or
yeah,
look her
exactly.
up. You're also on Instagram. You've got a lot going on here.
Yeah, exactly. There I am.
Super. This has been any final words of wisdom for those that are in the real estate or any other industry on how to build their business and follow your footsteps of success, Steph?
Oh, geez. That's a really nice thing to say. I think this conference that I went to obviously really resonated with me.
What
But
was the name of that conference while we've got that on
so
your mind?
it's through Tom Ferry. And I can share that too. Tom Ferry is this amazing coaching program, and Tom Ferry is the head coach, and he has a number of coaches under him. But what I took away from that conference, which I feel is necessary to share here before we go, is focus on what's important. You get a million things to deviate you and take you off of your route. So try to focus on what's important. If you're going to be with your family for the next hour, put your phone down and be present with your family. If you're going to network and do prospecting for the next hour, put your phone down and go onto your computer and send 20 emails. Whatever it is, I think be very intentional about the outcome that you're hoping to achieve. I think we get so distracted by all of these inputs that are coming at us all the time. Everyone's trying to multitask, including myself. And so my goal this year is to really hone in on the goals that I'm having, whether it's number of listings, the monetary goal, of course, but ultimately, try to make those goals tangible and achievable. And don't do the comfort goal. Do a little bit higher and get people in your life that support you. If you need a coach, call me. I will introduce you to someone at Tom Ferry. He's amazing. And I think that's the best way to invest in yourself if you are a realtor. But if you're in another business, hire a coach. There's nothing better to help you stay on track with your goals in mind, and partner with people that are the best in the business, like Mark Torres.
Thank you. Now, a lot of speaking of coaches, Tom Brady, everybody knows him, the GOAT in the football, NFL for decades. Unbelievable, right? 43 years old and was still playing football and being the top, quarterback in the league. He had in the peak of his career, he had 16 different coaches, I've heard. 16 different coaches for the different parts of his life. So not just on the football field, but he had the coach for his, to help him with his financial investments. He had the coach for how to read the defense. He had the coach for this and this, and for that, for the other. So if a Tom Brady needs a number of coaches, why wouldn't you? The whole idea here is how do you follow somebody else's success without having to trip over everything yourself first? And one way to do it is to follow somebody else's footsteps with a business coach. So strongly recommend that. And I'm not a business coach, so I'm not pitching anything here.
Me either, but I can send you in the right direction if you're in real estate. Right. Or I can send you to your mat for some yoga, some therapeutic yoga, one of those.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Steph, for being on our call today. And folks, all of the links to be able to get a hold of everything we've talked about are all down below. If you like the content we brought you today, please give us a like and share this episode with somebody else. We'd really appreciate that, as well as subscribe to the channel. And if you got any comments about the show or questions about the Boston market or anything else, comment in the links below and we'll get back to you. It's been a pleasure to have you listening to us. Thank you. Pleasure to have you on our show, Steph. And listeners, stay tuned to the next episode of Marketing Boost Solutions. Thank you. Thanks for listening to another episode of Marketing Boost Solutions Podcast with your hosts, Captain Marco Torres. Now it's on you. Take the next step now. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com for more on how you can wow, delight, and surprise your clients with the most amazing draw card on the planet. So stay thirsty, my friends. Stay thirsty for knowledge. See you next time.